Welcome back to the We Are City channel for our reboot career mode where we signed Bruno G in the previous episode, a new midfielder to back up Rodri in that role. Bruno G will be wearing the number 39 for Manchester City, as his dad wore as a taxi driver. He wore that number for Newcastle as well. We're going to train him as maybe a box-to-box or a playmaker, I think, in terms of development style. And in terms of loans and players leaving the club, Jacob Wright has agreed a loan, or the club have agreed a loan with Leeds United for him. Josh Earlsnesbrand is in talks with Nottingham Forest about a one-year loan. Maximo Piron is in talks with Fiorentina and West Ham United about a one-year loan away from the club. And we've also rejected a permanent offer for Jadel Katongo. We're only looking to loan him out this season. No permanent moves to Katongo. Sky Sports picking up the news now on Maximo Piron, and apparently West Ham United are favourites because they are reporting to be in talks with the highly rated Manchester youngster, and it looks like he would decide to play in the Premier League over Serie A with Fiorentina, and I think that would be a great move for Piron's development. An official confirmation here of Jacob's Wright move to Leeds United, 12 months in the Championship for the young midfielder. At least first game of the first game of the Premier League season time. We will be facing off the game as decided against 11th place. Not really played anything yet, so that doesn't matter, the 11th place thing. But newly promoted side in Ipswich Town, an unknown for Pep Guardiola's side to come up against, managed by Kieran McKenna, and they've done very well under the former Manchester United trainer. Their side is Aaron Muric starts in goal, a former Manchester City player. Ben Johnson, Greaves, Wolfton and Davis. Leave Davis the back four. Travis and Shotard the midfield two with Captain Chaplin in front. Another former City player that right hand side is Liam Delap starting off the right with Adonis and Burns the front three. Adelki, Morsi, Twanzebe, Brohead, Burgess, Leyes and Hurst on the bench for this Ipswich side. Tactical wise, key attacking players are Leif Davis from the fullback position and Chaplin in the attacking area. Ipswich Town offer an interesting challenge. They have a very balanced approach, equally comfortable in and out possession. They want to play possession football. It's exactly what they want to do. When they lose possession, they press aggressively to try and win the ball back. And this is going to be an interesting game to start the Premier League season for Pep Guardiola's side. We are missing most of the internationals from the Euro, so still no Rodri, still no Foden, Walker, Stones, none of the English players, none of the Spanish players that we have, and also no Julian Alvarez, who has been playing in the Olympics. We're going to go with this side. Edison starts in goal and starts the game. We've got Diaz and Akanji is the back two, or the back four, because Lewis is going to be drifting inside from right back, and Vardiel is going to be drifting inside from left back, playing the false fullback role. It's sort of a 2-3-4-1 formation. We're going to try this out today and try it out against Ipswich in the opening game of the season. Kovacic starts in the whole midfield role, but we do have Bruno G on the bench, ready to make his Manchester City debut when necessary. He is fit, sharp and ready. It's going to be Bernardo Silva and Kevin De Bruyne, the two attacking midfield players. Oscar Bob on the right, Jack Grealish on the left, and Erling Haaland through the middle. City with a strong enough side ready to start the Premier League season as players do return. Of course, a big 3-0 win over Manchester United in the Community Shield. And we're looking to continue that sort of record, those sorts of wins, and hopefully pick up a big win here today. On the bench, Jeremy Doku, Savio, who made a big impact against United in the Community Shield, McAtee, Guimaraes, Ortega, Nathan Ake, and Mateus Nunes. So arriving for the opening game, the kickstarter of the Premier League season, as Manchester City take on newly promoted Ipswich Town, playing against the newly promoted side on the opening day. Some might say it's an easy start, some might say otherwise, because they are an unknown in this competition. We do not know what to expect from Ipswich Town this season. City versus Ipswich, and it's live. Rico Lewis done a little bit there by Burns, who's very quick, and Burns has burst through here at the start of this one. Diaz gets a foot in, Lewis gets it away, but Rico Lewis showing his deficiencies at fullback there. His pace is sort of an issue at fullback and absolutely burnt there to start this one. He's got to be careful there, Ruben Diaz. Get under pressure, Diaz. Works into Kovacic anyway. Kevin De Bruyne in a little pocket space there. We find him, De Bruyne. Bob in behind to De Bruyne. Pulls it across the box here. Haaland wasn't waiting. Greaves just slices at it. But I'll still that down to Kovacic. Makes a poor pass, not the pass I played actually. Bruyne pressing as well still, trying to win it back. It's a late one by De Bruyne. Leif Davis gets away, and City worried about getting to this far side towards Burns, who's so quick. And here is Burns for Ipswich. Chased by Akanji. Puts inside. A good tackle by Kovacic in the box there. Really good challenge. City could counter it. Oscar Bob for Manchester City. De Bruyne. De Bruyne back into Bob here. Trouble could be on for Ipswich. Oscar Bob into Erling Haaland. Touches from Haaland. Haaland goes to the far post. And Jack Grealish arriving. And Ben Johnson is just there. Joshko Vardiol. Grealish. Grealish for City. Nice feet by Grealish here. Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish still! Oh, and he hits the side netting. I thought for a second there, Jack Grealish had got the opening goal of the Premier League for Manchester City. That is half-time. 0-0 between City and Ipswich. Not many chances created so far. Chances for City. Not really a chance for Ipswich, but neither goalkeeper has been tested. A slow day at the office for Kevin De Bruyne in that midfield. Switch for City back into Rico. And back wide to Oscar Bob. Spaces for Bob here. And Oscar Bob, that's a great turn off Leif Davis. He's done him. And Bob with a left-footed cross in. Far post to Grealish. Onto Bernardo Silva here. Muric with a reaction save. And behind for a corner. That was a great chance. Ruben Diaz can't win the header. He's done for pace here, Diaz. And Rico Lewis steps in. It's a great spin here. And Ipswich are in. There's a chance for the midfielder to score. And Ipswich, against the run of play, on the counter, hit Manchester City. Well, a very tired Mateo Kovacic is going to come off. Bruno G will come on for his debut, I think. But on the spin on the counter, Ruben Diaz loses a header. And it's Burns who's got so much pace. He beats the goalkeeper, Edison. And Ipswich have a lead in the Premier League. City's first goal this season conceded. Burns with the goal. Wes Burns off that left-hand side. 4-time Premier League winners lose their first game of the season, the opening game against Ipswich Town. Caught on the counter. Bernardo Silva. Back wide to Grealish. Jack Grealish, Manchester City. He's past Ben Johnson. Brilliant from Grealish. He's looking for options here. Grealish. Bernardo Silva. It's Bruno G and it's blocked away by the defender. Jack Grealish from Manchester City. Past Ben Johnson again by Grealish. Brilliant from Grealish. Grealish pulls it back to Bernardo. It's Bruno G again. It's another save by Muric. And they make the impact City need. Head away. Vardiol on. Savio picks it up here. Here's the Savio. The exciting Brazilian. He's skipped past the challenges here. Straight away, Savio. And here is Savio for Manchester City. What an impact this could be. Savio still going here. Savio still going. Savio still. Savio still. That's right at Muric. Savio in behind to Rico. Back across to De Bruyne. Through to Erling Haaland here. Falls to Erling Haaland. And Manchester City equalise. And that has been coming. Savio has been electric since he's come on this right-hand side. All down this right-hand side with Savio. Into Rico. Into De Bruyne. Ball through to Haaland. It just bobbles its way through. And on the right foot, the Norwegian hammers it past Aaron Muric into the top corner. First goal of City's season, of course, scored by Erling Haaland. I think we could have predicted that one. And the first assist of City season comes for Kevin De Bruyne. Manchester City 1. Jack Grealish from Manchester City, and he sees Jeremy Doku. He's done a bit of a run here, and Doku up against Ben Johnson. And Doku's past Ben Johnson. And Doku's still going here. And Jeremy Doku into the box here to Haaland. Back to Doku! And City take the lead. And as simple as that, within 5 minutes, Manchester City are in front. And it's Jeremy Doku. Very fortunate the way it deflected back to him after the pass to Haaland. But he made no mistake with it, Doku. Dribble his way into the box. Has a cross. Poor touch. Poor clearance. Falls back to Doku. And Jeremy Doku makes no mistake here. Back of the net. 2-1 Manchester City lead here against Ipswich. Referee. He's not going to blow that whistle. He's going to give Ipswich one more chance. Vardiol chases. Cross in. Kanji back to Edison. Edison lumps it away. And the full-time whistle goes. 3 points in the opening day of the season for Manchester City. A 2-1 win over Ipswich Town, but it certainly wasn't an easy one. They played very well in the newly promoted side in Kieran McKenna's team. And Pep Guardiola's side in the end come out 2-1 winners. Goals from Doku and Erling Haaland, but we certainly weren't at our best. Manchester City 2, Ipswich Town 1. Jeremy Doku was the winner. An official combination now of Maximo Peron's 12-month moon to West Ham United. And some big news again in the transfer coming out. It is Jadel Katongo. Apparently Lille are in talks to sign him. They're in talks to the club about signing him on loan, not a permanent transfer. And I think for him to move to Ligue 1, that would be fantastic for the young man's development. Now, Bernardo Silva is one of Pep Guardiola's favourite players, and we're going to develop him from a right wing or change his position from a right winger to a central midfielder. I think with all the wide players and the options we've got in wide areas, Bernardo will be playing central areas, and we'll look at different areas that could have moved him as a playmaker or so on. But I think we're going to change his position actually, rather than doing him as a box-to-box or ball-winning player. as an attacking midfielder. I think that is going to be mostly and mainly his role in the Manchester City side this season, backing up De Bruyne and Phil Foden, maybe starting ahead of them. And some more breaking Sky Sports news here about Nottingham Forest. They're set to complete a loan move for Joshua Wilson-Esbrand. A bit of Premier League experience for the fullback, who's not quite Manchester City level, well, not quite, way off it. The 12-month loan has been confirmed for him. Well, it's match day 2 time now in the Premier League for Manchester City, and we're going to be taking on Newcastle United at the Etihad Stadium. Newcastle have brought in some new signs as well. Alexander Isak starts up top. It's Almiron on the right and Anthony Gordon on the left, the front three. Joe Willock, captain Sandro Tonali in the holding role where Bruno G would play, and Oliver Torres. It is then Target, Botman, Kelly and Juanlu, the back four, with Nick Pope in goal. Fabian Schär, Nico Gonzalez, Byrne, Barnes, Moukoko has been signed from Borussia Dortmund. Dubravka and Parkinson on the bench. A very interesting Newcastle side. We know the way they want to play. Sandro Tonali is considered a key player in their defensive terms. Isak very good up top. They're going to hit us on the counter. They play a more defensive style Newcastle. We need to be very careful today. We could easily have a slip-up in our opening Premier League game of the season at the Etihad at home. Let's decide what to go with for Newcastle United. Ederson once again starts in goal. It's going to be Diaz, Akanji and Joško Vardiol, Manchester City's back three, with Rico Lewis playing sort of a right back, stepping into midfield alongside Bruno G, who makes his first start against Manchester City against his former side in Newcastle United. Captain Kevin De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva start the midfield two in front, with Oscar Bob on the right and Jack Grealish on the left, with Erling Haaland through the middle. Savio and Doku made big impacts in the previous game, but they're not quite sharp enough yet. Savio a little bit tired, so that's why they don't start. McAtee, Nunez on the bench with Sissoko, Ake and Ortega. Back in training there's of course Jotun Stones, Kyle Walker, Phil Foden, Julian Alvarez and Rodri, but yet to be included in the City starting 11. That will probably be in the next few fixtures over the next few games. And also, who else is worth mentioning? I'm not exactly sure. Mateo Kovacic, of course, missed out today. He's a little bit tired. I think I've been flogging him a bit too hard in training. I need to change his training plan. Well, there is Manchester City warming up, and there is the man in midfield today for Manchester City, number 39, making his City debut against his former side, Bruno G. Akanji out of position, Anthony Gordon with space. Ruben Diaz with a big challenge there, Diaz, and puts it behind for a corner. Fantastic tackle from Diaz. Where they go, space on the far side for odds. Anthony Gordon, Oscar Bob with him. Gordon gets a cross into Alexander Isak here. It's poor defending by City, and Newcastle in at the Etihad. Alexander Isak opens the scoring. Well, Oscar Bob. There's a few others. Manu Akanji not tight enough to the man on the far side there. Anthony Gordon. Vardiol gets the cross in. Akanji stood off Isak. And he punishes City there with a really good header. Ederson can't make the save. Yet to make a save this season, Ederson. Almiron and Bernardo Silva gets back. This has not been a usual City performance so far. Ruben Diaz slides in on Almiron here. It's a late one by Ruben Diaz. It's not going to be a card. But he's a bit lucky there, Diaz. Stretched the ball. Made sure if he didn't win it, he took the man. And he did take Miguel Almiron. Made sure he took Miguel Almiron. Frustrated Guardiola, and it's a good free kick position here for Newcastle. Anthony Gordon goes for goal here. It's off the tip of the crossbar. Haaland trying to help his team out defensively. Grealish in there as well. Haaland wings it back. Poor by Newcastle. It's Bernardo Silva. It's onto De Bruyne. It's Kevin De Bruyne. It's fired in by De Bruyne. 1-1. Come on. Good finish by City's captain at the moment, Kevin De Bruyne. We will, at the end of the transfer window, vote who should be the captain and so on. Good touch by De Bruyne. Wraps round it on that right foot. It's a difficult one for Nick Pope to say, but De Bruyne catches it so well. Into the top corner. Given away, it's a poor goal to concede for Newcastle. And City back in this at 1-1 now. Oh, Ruben Diaz with a terrible ball towards Almiron. In Almiron! Saved by Ederson. Back to Isak. Open goal is it? Rico Lewis gets the foot in. City get away with it again. But Ruben Diaz there. Back in behind to Bob, who's made the good run here, Bob. Bob for City. Into the box here, Bob. On to Haaland! Haaland across the box and somehow away. Grealish pressing, but City's midfield a little bit slack here. A little bit gone. Here's Anthony Gordon. On the counter again. Anthony Gordon! Over the bar by Gordon. Wow. Trying to win this back, City. Isak. Gordon, so much space in this far side. Good spin by Isak. Anthony Gordon against Ruben Diaz. Gordon gets the shot off. Oh my word. Newcastle take the lead. Well, they probably deserve it. They've had chances. But questions have to be asked to goalkeeper Edison there. Edison should save that one. Diaz shows when he's weaker left foot. Gordon hits it. Edison lets it go in. Kanji driving through. Kanji through to Haaland. Goes for it, Haaland. He takes out a Newcastle player in the process going for that one. The referee's unhappy with Haaland here. Haaland's got every right to go for that one. It's a red card for Erling Haaland. Well, he's got every right to go for that. City down to 10 men. Gordon off, Dan Burn on. It was silly of me to dive in on that one. Bernardo Silva, good challenge. De Bruyne, Guimaraes, Jack Grealish here. Back to Vardiol, who's under pressure here. And a late one on Vardiol, referee. You better get that red card out now. Late challenge by Oliver Torres. And only a yellow card for Oliver Torres there. Well, a similar sort of challenge on Vardiol. Nasty one from Torres. Why is that not a red card as well? Into De Bruyne here. De Bruyne pulls it across the box to Grealish. Kelly nearly puts it in his own net. Behind for a corner. City fans behind the team here on 10 men. Ball in by De Bruyne. Vardiol in there. Might fall to Bernardo Silva. Last-ditch challenge from Newcastle. And now they counter, and it's Oscar Bob and Doku doing the defending for us. And here's Miguel Almiron. City in big trouble. Almiron. Oscar Bob can't stop the cross, and Alexander Isak makes it 3-1. Well, what a problem for City today. Alexander Isak makes it 3-1. Well, I never thought that was a red card for Erling Haaland. Isak gets his second of the game. And Newcastle United, Bruno Guimaraes' former side, embarrassing us at the Etihad here. Out wide to Oscar Bob. Onto his left foot. Oscar Bob bends one to the far post. Bernardo is running in. And the yellow card for Joe Willock now for a late challenge. This time on Jack Grealish. Look at that. 2 feet by Joe Willock. 2 feet by Joe Willock. Chance for Newcastle again here. Nico with a skill. It's Almiron. It's 4-1. City torn apart here at the Etihad. Savio's going to come on for Bob. Ake to try and shore things up maybe for Diaz. McAtee for Grealish. City 4-1 down to Newcastle. They've been torn apart. 10 men and we've really struggled, and that Haaland red card has cost us. The refereeing has been so poor today. Diaz gone walkabout. Almiron scores. Manchester City lose. Doku. Good feet by Jeremy Doku. Another late challenge here. Joe Willock with his second late challenge of the game here. He's already on a yellow card, Joe Willock. Doku is down. And it's a red card for Joe Willock. Second yellow card, and Willock is off both sides on 10 men. What a nasty game this has become. And it didn't need to be. Look at that from Willock, who made a 2-footed challenge before he should have been off. Can we get back into this one with both sides on 10 men now? Savio running at the Newcastle defence here. Savio still. He needs support. Oh, great skill by Savio. Gets the byline. Savio. De Bruyne with a chance. Saved by Nick Pope. Doku up against Lloyd Kelly. Back into Bernardo. Bruno Guimaraes blocked away. Back to Bruno again. Bruno Guimaraes once more into the hands of Nick Pope. Been stripped again here, Kanji. And he's sacked for the hat-trick and into the hands of Edison. Well, this is going to be a disappointing one for Manchester City at the second game of the season. City 1, Newcastle 4. Both sides go down to 10 men. Erling Haaland with a red card. He will miss 3 games perhaps. Eddie Howe's side come out on top. A lot to think about for Pep Guardiola's side and his men. We need to get Rodri and so back, but that's a really disappointing result for City. What a performance by Newcastle, Alexander Isak. With 2 red cards, and the refereeing was so poor. One of the worst refereeing performances we've seen in the Premier League, I think, especially for Manchester City today. Katongo moves to Lille in a 12-month loan move. That's a good chance to him to impress in Ligue 1 and come back to Manchester City a much better player. An interesting bit of news here coming out from Sky Sports Transfer Centre, where they look at players that have, possibly signed for clubs. They're focusing on strikers today, and they're focusing on Victor Gyökeres, the Sporting Lisbon striker with a €100 million lease clause. He's been linked with Chelsea and Arsenal. Apparently Chelsea are very interested. Arsenal made contact, but there is apparently, according to Sky Sports, interest from Manchester City and Victor Gyökeres. Now, that could be to do with Julian Alvarez's future at the club. We're still uncertain going in towards the final days of the transfer window whether Alvarez will leave. He wants to leave, but it all depends on if a club can offer us 60 million plus 17 million pound in bonus. 77 million pound would let Alvarez go. And if City were to lose Alvarez, it looks like the club are looking for a real talisman, someone who's got a lot of goals in his locker, and that would be Victor Gyökeres. So keep an eye on that situation going to the final episode of the transfer window next time. Thanks for watching. Please like the video if you haven't already. Please do subscribe to the channel if you are new. The Premier League is underway. Things not really working in our favour so far, and we'll see you guys next time.